Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Welcome, everyone, to season 3 of the podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, bullshit, and this time actually seeing us. We're doing a little something different. We're gonna be on YouTube live while we do this, but also this will be on YouTube, so you can watch it in the future, as far in the future as you want. 7, 8, 20 years from now, you can watch this, and I'm sure it'll be just as informative as it is today. And remember our drinking rules. If Beefloaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that,
and I'm going to say that.
If My Sock Summer can't pronounce a name or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. If I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. And if any of us have to get up to go to the bathroom, you will see it, and you will also have to drink. Well, you won't see us go to the bathroom. You'll just see us get up.
Maybe. It depends how much money you have and how quickly you can access my Cash app. Want to see me piss? If you want to start out the new year with watching My Sock Summer take a whiz live, just send me like $50-$60. I'm good.
Who wouldn't want that? Whoever would.
Right? I mean, I'm not gonna guarantee you're gonna see like the whole hog. You might just see balls, you know? You might just see the piss in the toilet. But you know that it's live.
What angle are we getting from this?
We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I like to put my hand under my dick and then just shoot right there. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Beefloaf, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, and I'm learning more and more about the cinematography of My Sock Summer's Penix. I have some banter. We usually don't do White Sox banter because we're a White Sox show, so we talk about other bullshit up front. But I wanted to do a little Sox banter. I wanted to bring up something that my guy My Sock Summer is always talking about, how Chicago sports fans sort of fetishize the new or the unknown thing. You know, like whatever is the brand new thing, even if the expectations of that thing aren't that great, just as long as it's some different shit, we're automatically like, oh yeah, that shit is way better than anything that we had before. It's going to be great. Mm-hmm. It even reminds me of like people who talking heads on the radio. I can remember Dan Bernstein on 670 The Score back in the day saying some bullshit about, oh, we're in the golden era of Chicago GMs. And the Bulls GM was Gar Forman and the fucking Bears GM was Phil Emery. So like no one knows what the fuck they're talking about, right? So the reason why I bring this up is I've been thinking so much, and I don't know why it's been on my brain, but I've been thinking so much about Ethan Katz. Now, Teresi, I think you were a huge proponent of the pitching coach hire is more important than the manager hire. Like we had an okay manager, but the pitching coach was going to be the person that was really going to guide all these young arms. The Sox have kind of a lot of young arms to help mature, to help get ready to be contributors to this championship window. And I've tried to listen to basically all the Ethan Katz media that he's done. He was on 670. The Sox did their thing through the YouTube channel. I listened to Chuck. I'm not usually a White Sox Talk podcast listener, but I wanted to hear Ethan Katz on there. Everything I've heard from him sounds good, but realistically, do you guys think that we're, as a fan base, we're just putting like enormous fucking expectations on this guy? Are we like putting unfair expectations on Ethan Katz right the fuck out of the gate?
Well, I mean, I would say yes, and it's not that it would, even if it wasn't Ethan Katz, let's say whoever it is, because we always put unfair expectations on Coop, right?
On everybody,
on everyone.
It's a joke of like Coop will fix them, right? But Coop did help some guys, right?
Yes,
and then
for sure
he may have hurt some guys. Like there's definitely guys that you look at and you're like, that man, how did that not work out? But at the end of the day, there's not enough visibility to know what did and did not work and why things didn't work out. But we just assume that these pitching coaches are like fucking horse whisperers, like,
right.
and that like, oh yeah, well this guy has like a 80 grade fastball, so this pitching coach will obviously just fix everything else that's wrong with this guy, including his marriage, and it's of course it's going to be unrealistic expectations, but I think every fan base does that, and every person is going to do that for their team, right? Like every team thinks they're going to win the World Series, like going into the season. Like last year I had some guy telling me, like talking shit to me because I made fun of, I like said like, hey, the Sox need to beat all these shit teams this year, and I included the Pirates, and he was like deeply offended. And I was like, I mean, look at your roster. Like, so people just have unrealistic expectations for their own teams, right? And so I think, you know, we as Sox fans do that. But of course, if it's something new, there's no background on it. There's no reason to believe that it would fail, right? Because everyone put their faith in this, that this must be good. And then you add on top of it the Giolito piece of this, and now it's like the expectations are going to be fucking ridiculous. And so I'm not shocked that we'd have unrealistic expectations, but I also like, I think we as fans could just temper those expectations. We could say like, you know, and I think to some extent we are, because I don't know anyone who's not yelling at the top of their lungs to get another pitcher. And we have three at the top of the rotation that are pretty damn good. So, but I like, everyone wants another pitcher, and most would prefer Trevor Bauer. So I don't think that like we all just go like, well, yeah, this guy's going to take care of it. But of course we have unrealistic expectations. It's going to happen.
Do you think they want to sign Trevor Bauer as much because they want the Sox to sign a good pitcher as they do just sign a big free agent in the offseason? Like that, I feel like there's both those things at play there.
See,
like,
I think
they want to go top market, and they also want a good pitcher.
I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be the pitcher piece, right? Because like you don't hear as much about, you know, Springer, or you didn't hear as much about Springer. People were excited for it, but not to the level that they are for Bauer. And maybe that's just Bauer's ability to manipulate social media. But
yeah, apparently
at the same time, like, people are like screaming for this guy.
He's a lunatic too. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, he's really good. He's a really good pitcher.
Well, I mean,
no, I get that, but it's just like
the thing is, he's the best of the available things. You know, the things that people want, he's the best available one. That's it.
100%.
You know, like, he is nuts. I mean, like you know, so a bunch of people reaching out to us, DMing us, like, "Oh, get involved in this thing where you beg Trevor Bauer to come pitch," and we were all like,
"Bitch,
okay.
please."
I mean, if he comes, great. But you know, we don't want to have to talk to him.
That whole thing's weird. That whole thing's weird to me. Like, I don't like it.
You said it on the last podcast, Chirizi. It's the same thing. Like, listen, you're looking, or we said during Festivus. I can't remember which. We've done so much bullshit. You were like, listen, if you don't want to come play with Timmy, you don't want to come play with Eloy, you don't want to play with Jose, all these guys, you don't want a good back, you know, and also a bunch of good pitchers, then fuck you. We don't need you. Go play somewhere else. You know, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, do you want to win or do you want to make money? And you know, you can do both. You know, it would probably happen. So, well, we'll see. Now, Pat, to get to your question, when you're talking about expectations, there is one faction of White Sox Twitter that seems to not have a lot of expectations for a certain person. And that certain person might be the GM of the White Sox. I mean, is that it's something that we could probably look at? Like, we expect so much from everybody, but yet when it comes to Rick Hahn, the expectations are very tempered because they're assuming, and somewhat rightfully, some not, that he's hampered by his boss not letting him spend money. And I mean, I don't know. We've talked about it at great length, how he spent 7 here. He could have spent 7 on this and got this return, but he bought this and it got a less of a return. So, you know, I don't know. It's different. I just wanted to bring it up because I like to stick it in people's faces every once in a while about the low expectations for our general manager. Plus, I had an edible before I came down tonight, and it just popped in my head and would not leave. So I'm like, I have to talk about it, and then it will leave my head. Just like at midnight last night, I opened the door, so 2020 will go right the fuck out the door, and 2021 is coming right in. So, you know, it was good. Yeah, yeah, it came in pretty hot. It actually came in cold. And the wife was like, "Keep the door open. It's pretty nice out there." And I was like, "Oh, she's drunk."
Well, my Sox summer, to answer your question really quickly, the reason that you can tell the expectations are a little lower for the GM is that everyone screams about letting him spend at the top of the market. And the reason why they do is because even the big supporters know when he spends in the lower and middle parts of the market, he hasn't done that well. And so he's done pretty well when he gets to spend a little more. Those investments have come through real nicely and they've been fine. Now, in general, that should be an easier spot to spend. But like even the people that are ardent supporters in the back of their brain know, fuck, he's going to do Nomar Mazara again if you don't let him spend $20 million on this outfielder. So yeah, I kind of get it. Like he has his strengths and his weaknesses, and one of his weaknesses could potentially show out with the finishing pieces of this roster if Jerry doesn't open his fucking checkbook. And God damn it, Jerry, open your checkbook. What the fuck? You ain't been spending for a half decade here, and our ass has been in the seats buying beer and shit, motherfucker.
You haven't spent. Plus, you still haven't written a check, even though nobody does checks anymore. Like it's been that long. You still have all these checks, and you're not writing them, and you haven't. No, it's funny because you brought up, you bring up Nomar, and then there's what's his name, Marcell Ozuna. Like, didn't he have a hell of a year and get paid about the same as Nomar did too? So I mean,
he got paid more. He got paid more, but that's like. Yeah, but that's the option. You instead of going to get Nomar and Edwin Encarnacion, you could have paid for Marcell Ozuna and crushed their production.
Yeah,
just murdered their fucking production. But Treasy, before you throw the banter off, I'm gonna lower the expectations right now for Ethan Katz. Let me do it for all White Sox Twitter. Why don't you guys listening right now? Listen to these words because they are true. I think Ethan Katz can be an overall worse pitching coach than Coop and still be hella effective and help the White Sox win a title because he was brought in to do specific things. So he might not be as good overall as Coop, and he could still help them succeed. So lower those expectations for Ethan Katz. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him, but I don't want you all believing he's going to fix every fucking guy that walks through the door.
So if I heard that correctly, he's going to fix everything, and we're going to win the World Series in 2021. Thank you.
This year.
All right.
This year.
White Sox Summer. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. And I just wanted to throw something out. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year to the fans. Happy New Year. We rang in the New Year last night together. And we also had a State of the 108 meeting amongst the three of us like a few days ago. Yeah. And just so happened, I was on the Twitter machine today for a little bit, saw a tweet. Our guy Darren Brown was on our other guy, Jason Hosking, and his buddies, Zach and Iowa Zach, and then Iowa Sox Talk. I don't remember what his actual name is.
I think his name is Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, Ryan, I'm sorry. You screamed a lot into the mic in this most recent show, so fuck you. That was too much. I didn't like it. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I do that all the time. So I just was like, I got to tune in. I want to hear Darren. I want to hear what he says, right? And when we had talked about the State of the 108, one of the things that we talked about was guest spots. And I wanted to remind everybody out there, our friends that have podcasts and people that have podcasts, that Teresi and I are 100% available to come onto your podcast. We are good enough to be on your podcast. We know that the loaf brings a lot of heat, a lot of numbers. We understand why he's the sexy one. But like, listen, like most women, the sexiest ones usually aren't the best ones. The fat ones, like myself, might give better head. You don't know. It could be really good. Older guys like Teresi, they got a lot of experience. You can get right in there. I mean, these are things that you need to think about. We know that the brains and the nose are all with the loaf, but we are available for your podcast. Now, it's been a little slow comments. I've been on this Sox in the Basement. Teresi had to start his own goddamn podcast about nerd shit with Josh Nelson. But we're out there, we're available. So just hit us up. DMs are open. Don't particularly care much for male nudes, Billy Wires, so don't send those. But yeah, that's just want to remind everybody that we are available. Loaf is a little busy. So
why you're saying I'm out? Why are you pushing me out? Huh?
Listen, people want you already. They already want to fuck you. So just let us get a little bit, okay? Let us get a little shine. I know we might dull you up a little bit, but as my man Berkland said on the Twitter today, Shy Burke, he said 2021 is all my Sox summer, baby. So just be ready for it.
I love it.
Me too.
I mean, as I said when we were talking about that, I'm not terribly interested in doing that, but thank you for offering me up.
It works better if both of us are available.
He can't just be offering his salchicha. He's got to get you in there too.
You couldn't make the old joke without offering me up. I got it.
Yeah. Hey, no, I also shout out. Everyone can see it because we're on YouTube Live. Loaf is wearing a Illini 108 shirt. So he's definitely cheering for Illinois tomorrow. So fuck all you Purdue fans that are watching us right now. So
I don't really believe that, and the reason I don't believe that is because it has sleeves, so I don't think he actually likes it.
Yeah, this is just my background. I have no shirt on right now. This is a Zoom background that I put where it has the shirt in there. No, I'm actually wearing it for the Bears.
Oh,
because big game against the Packers this weekend.
That's
for
true.
A playoff spot. But I'm not anti-Illini. In fact, I love watching Kofi. Kofi is a joy to watch, a legit big man. So yeah, I'll probably be invested in that game tomorrow against Purdue for sure.
The Aussie, Mr. Hosking over there on the I Wanna Talk Sports show kept calling him Cockburn, and he said it like Cockburn. He's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, right, mate, Cockburn. So
wow,
if anything, there's a drinking game that they don't do, but they should do, is if you don't understand what the fuck comes out of Jason's mouth, you have to drink. And like, you would be loaded within the first 15 minutes of that podcast. Like, you'd be like, all right, I heard mate and I heard cunt. And now all the other words are just random shit. It's like a dumpster of American Aussie language. I don't know what it is. It's great. It's breezy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was actually just laughing before we got started. I was talking to Cornsey, and she's like, "Did you see who played at Mar-a-Lago last night for their New Year's Eve party?" And I said, "No, who played?" Vanilla Ice.
Oh, geez.
Vanilla Ice was I think they had like whatever's left of the Beach Boys there too, but like the Vanilla Ice was the main attraction, and the tickets were like $1,000. And so.
Wow.
My question to you, other than Vanilla Ice, because I know we would all pay $1,000 to see Vanilla Ice.
Oh, two times.
What artist, if there is one that exists, and we're not doing like, oh man, go back in time, or this person's alive now and you can go see them. No, is there a fucking current artist that you would pay $1,000 to see?
No.
I mean, I think the only way you could figure that in is like if we got someone, I was going to say Prince, but Prince, R.I.P. in peace.
He's
someone
dead.
Someone big like Prince, and he was going to play in my backyard, and it was only going to be 12 of us or whatever the fuck. That maybe $1,000.
Let's say there's a few hundred people at this. Let's call it. Let's say that like you get to see this band at Metro. Let's say like 1,000 people are there. Like you get to see this band at Metro. Would you pay $1,000? Who would you pay $1,000 to see at the Metro?
But current though.
Current. Like would you like My Sock Summer? Would you pay $1,000 to see Pearl Jam at the Metro?
Absolutely not. No way. Never. I like them.
That's so quick too.
It's not so much because it's like I feel, and this is bad, but I'm like, my music tastes haven't really changed much in like 15 years, right? Like I've added some different stuff in here and there, but like, no, I'm not spending $1,000. I almost think it's goddamn ridiculous when I spend $200 to go see Pearl Jam. Like that's fucking ridiculous too. So I can't, no way. No, couldn't do it. Like when we saw Jane's at Metro, that was probably one of my like biggest wants to see at Metro, and it was great and it was fun and it was not crowded because we couldn't even resell my tickets. But it was, it was like $100. Like it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't have paid $1,000 for that either. No.
And 100 seemed a little stiff too, but it was like this is a good experience. Like if I knew that Dave Navarro was going to hang women on fishing hooks like from their shoulder blades and swing them across the audience, I would have maybe spent $250. Maybe, but no.
Beef, how about you, man?
Nothing in music, I don't think. I think you'd have to set up a certain situation that would just be so insane that you're like, man, I would pay $1,000 a head to see this. I'm sort of thinking like 3-on-3 basketball, where like one of the teams is like Michael Jordan, Dave Chappelle, and like Wayne Newton. And then the other team would be like, Barkley. You gotta like make a wild, like one real good player, and then some lunatic, like Gary Busey could be on the other team. Like I don't know, something wild like that you're like, I could never see this again. Like that's where you start getting into that dollar amount. Otherwise, no one, who cares? I mean, you can see everything anywhere, and like even just my son was talking about, paying $200 to go to a concert even sounds fucking insane. Like, like let alone 5 times that to see fucking Vanilla Ice.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Vanilla Ice.
That's the best part of it. It's like, but I mean, like, imagine, like, you probably had the plan to go there already, right? I mean, I'm not saying that like people paid $1,000 to go see Vanilla Ice, but like, imagine you were like, shit, I want to do it up. I'm gonna go to this fucking place, real fancy. I'm gonna pay $1,000 to go to this place, and then you get there and they're like, special guest performance tonight, Vanilla Ice. Like, you might actually be mad. Like you're like,
but yeah, like,
no, I heard too that was the president's New Year's Eve party, right?
But he wasn't there.
I was gonna say, I heard he bailed. He didn't even fucking go. So like, the people paying $1,000 were probably paying $1,000 to rub elbows with him, not fucking listen to dipshit Vanilla Ice.
They're like, hey, I want to go do some shit. I want to get pardoned. Can you hook? How do we get in touch with the president? Oh, pay $1,000 to go to his party, and now like see if I can get pardoned for this murder I'm gonna commit to later.
See, Tracy, the situation you're putting up is we think of the thing that we would go see for $1,000,
and then what do you get?
Not there. Yeah, you get Vanilla Ice.
Right.
You get MC Hammer doing songs on an acoustic guitar.
Oh, no.
Like something
awesome,
that would be
but
dope, terrible.
Like here's a good example. Here's a good example. This would be the perfect compliment here. So, Beef, me and you and My Sock Summer were like, hey man, I heard that the Smashing Pumpkins are playing at a place that holds 250 people, and I got us tickets. They're $1,000 each. But fuck it, it's on me. It's gonna be so fucking amazing. And you get there, and it's just Billy doing the 8-hour set that he did at his coffee house or its tea house or whatever it was. That was just nonsense, like that. And we're like, we spent $1,000. We got to fucking stay here for every minute of this. This is just. That's the equivalent I could come up with in real life, but. To my earlier question, like, I don't think that I would pay $1,000 to really see anybody, even if the venue's small, because part of the whole, like, I saw these guys at this place is that you knew about those guys early and you caught them early in their career and saw them at this place. Right. I mean, like, like I saw Deftones at the Metro, and that's not because, like I paid $900. I paid like $15 to go see that show. But it was before they were really big, and so like you got to see them at this really cool venue, and like I like those stories more than like, oh, I paid an outrageous sum of money to go see like Mike Love Beach Boys, like terrible.
Now that's funny because I think you can probably see the Deftones at like a bar in Clinton, Iowa now for like $15. So there'll be like 6 people there.
Yeah, but I saw the Deftones when Chino could still like jump off amp.
Right, like before they got big.
Like I don't want Chino looking like me. Like that's right. Like
I do. I prefer that.
So since we're live on YouTube, some of the fans have been commenting on the chat. Mr. Han would pay $1,000 to go see the Rolling Stones or Metallica, which is fucking ridiculous because you can see both those bands for less than $1,000 right now. I wish I was as rich as Mr. Hand. Our good friend Matthew Mitchell says Radiohead ? I don't know. I don't want to pay $1,000 to see Radiohead.
We saw Radiohead. We saw Radiohead for awesome. like $25 at Hutchinson Field, and we got very close to the stage. And they're great, but I'm not paying a dime to see them.
Yeah, I'm not paying $1,000 to see that.
One Rebase Cup says he wants to let us know that Mike Pence is a huge Vanilla Ice fan. Huge.
I'm sure he is.
So that makes sense now. I agree.
And okay. That's what we got going.
All right. Well, we've talked enough Rob Van Winkle for everybody for the rest of our lives. Fellas, what are you guys drinking?
Oh, I'm mixing up one right now, so I feel like I should go first.
Go first, baby. Tell us what you got.
This is right in your face, fucking Slim Mick. Boom! A little bit of Crown Royal vanilla, because you can see it. Okay. I bought this because I was like, oh man, that's gonna be delicious. And then I'm gonna put a little Coke on top of that motherfucker. Okay,
Ooh.
doing that right now. Oh, that's good. It's good too. It's hitting nice. Now, this is what you can do on it because it's New Year. And if somebody asked if I've been eating cocktail winnies, no, I have not. I have been eating maraschino cherries that I got at Aldi. So I'm gonna put 2 of those motherfuckers floating on top of this bitch, and then I'm gonna drink it. So it's a Crown, vanilla, and Coke with some maraschino cherries I got at Aldi. So that's what I'm drinking, guys. How about you?
Before I get to what I'm drinking, Treasy, I don't know if you noticed the little graphic on the maraschino cherry bottle that he showed up.
Let's see again.
That little guy, that you guarantee that some version of that little guy is going to show up in a 108 shirt about 9 months from now. It's stuck in my Sock Summer's back of his head right now, and it's going to come up to the front. Like right when the Sox are going for a playoff run, he's like, oh man, we need to make a little tiny cherry head shirt for some reason.
The edibles reached out and he pulled that into his brain.
It just pushed it right to the front. No, I'm drinking this Elysian Contact Haze. The first time I'm having it.
Oh, nice.
The missus ordered a 6-pack of it for me. She was just grabbing random stuff. So
that's a nice
trying it out. I like hazy IPAs. So
you
far,
do like
good.
the haze.
Tastes pretty good. How about you, Treasy?
So I'm doing some natural villains, and I got it in my sweet new pint glass that I got. You could see that the Treasy pint glass.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
I know the chick that got it for you.
Yeah,
nice lady.
yeah. Mama Summer got me this in our
the
group's Secret Santa thing. No longer a secret. I know who got it, unless it was actually Santa. We'll never know.
We won't know.
But I have some natural villains that I'm enjoying. They're very delicious. And what do you got?
Oh, he's thinking for something else.
For later, after I've done an ad read, I've got a nice Bourbon County that I'm going to knock down. It's the Buffalo Trace one. So I'm excited for that.
Nice. Nina Cherry got the Buffalo stance over there.
But not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Nice Nina Cherry. That's
a good call. Dude, Treasy, I don't know what you're talking about. This fucking goddamn Crown Royal Vanilla is smooth as fuck, dude. I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
I'm happy for you.
And you know what I was worried about it. I was worried about it because it's 70 proof, so I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get all tanked up. No, man, this is good. It tastes really good. So I'm proud. I'm happy.
Yeah, so you are going to get all tanked up. Good.
Well, before you get all tanked up, why don't you pay some bills?
Oh, man. So, as you guys know, we just had Christmas, and we sold a shitload of winter hats. Guess what? The cold doesn't go away just because you're not giving gifts anymore. So why don't you get your ass into our shop and buy yourself a winter hat? We're all sold out of blazing yellow. Okay, it's gone. Safety yellow, gone. We have gray and we have black. They're both very nice. Both very non-itchy. If you have a huge fat head, let me know because I have some extra ones for you, big size, so that I can let you have. I've had a couple guys reach out and I have sold them. It's my personal stock, but I feel as though I will give it to you if you have a big fat head. So go check out the site. We still got t-shirts and sweatshirts and all that bullshit. So go check it out. It's great prices. Beat everybody. Also, we have 108 Day coming up. So we're going to do things a little different. So I want everyone to pay attention on January 8th for the announcement of how you can help us on 108 Day and what the new details will be. There will be a whole fancy new blog and everything. So just get ready to read that. Okay.
Awesome. So a couple things on that real quick. Can we start to call the big sized hats magnums?
Man, yeah.
I would like that. And then also, be sure to check out for 108 Day because last year we raised I think a few $1,000s for charity and hopefully even more this year. So I'm excited for that and looking forward to it.
With the Buffalo Wings and Rings match, we raised almost $5,000.
Beautiful.
Nice. That's great. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And cheers to Buffalo Wings and Rings for doing that. That's really
fucking
really
ain't right.
Great people over there, Buffalo Wings.
Maybe they'll do it again. We're going to be there begging.
And now let's talk a little bit of baseball, guys. So
hell yeah.
First off, and you know what? I'm a little confused on how to even say this guy's name because I've seen it spelled fucking 19 different ways. But it's Yoelkis Cespedes. So it's a Yoelki or Yoelkis. I don't know. I'm not going to say it right. I'm going to be, we're going to see what My Sock Summer says. It's going to be fucking amazing. But Beefloaf, why don't you just walk us through the player, and then we can get to some of what we think about it.
Happy to do so. And I was thinking, Treasy, it's going to be like how Yogurt, when he was clearing his throat, that was you saying the different versions, and we thought it was the right version, but none of them are. It's just you were clearing your throat. So I don't.
All I know is that you're a certified prince.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't know what to call him, Yoelki, or I call him Hulky maybe, or Baby Cespedes, or Little Cespedes. It doesn't matter. But the White Sox signed him. They gave him $2 million. This is an international amateur signing. And it's kind of big news for the White Sox. They generally don't spend large amounts of money in that talent base, that little pool of the market. Everyone will say, oh yeah, but they spent $50 million on Luis Robert. That's a very different sort of thing. Luis Robert was like an all-world prospect. He was the last one who was allowed to be signed for above and beyond the cap. Each team has a capped amount that they could spend in these marketplaces. And these marketplaces generally include the Caribbean, South America, and then Asia for certain age players. The older Asian players that have been professionals for a while, that's sort of the different thing. There's a posting situation there. Too esoteric for this discussion. So the kid in question, he's 23 years old. He's allegedly 5'9", although I've heard some people say he might be as short as 5'7", 205 pounds. But I mean, you've seen pictures of him now because it's come out. The guy's ripped. I mean, he's jacked up. So the info coming in on him is a tad bit sketchy.
It's like a small running back, right?
Yeah,
like it's one of these guys who's like, short, but like just a ball of muscle.
Yeah, think Barry Sanders, like that size and like the athleticism and all that stuff. Think about it like a guy like that size. Baseball America, the fine folks over there, rated Cespedes as the top remaining international prospect of this class for what it's worth. The Fangraphs info that was available on that was a little dated and a lot less flattering. Basically that he was a toolsy athlete, but that they thought he had way too much swing and miss to ever become a major leaguer. He's a center fielder by trade, but I think the plan right now is to put him in right field. If you want a lot more details on real specifics about tools and such, go over to Future Sox. They've got you completely covered there. Just check them out there. In the Cuban League, his career stats there, his slash line, if you will, batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, were 287 batting average, 352 on base, 416 slug. These are mostly playing in ages 17 through 19 in the professional league there, and a little bit of play at age 21. There was a kind of a break in there. Now, just to put his Cuban League stats into perspective, with White Sox players that I'm going to read off a couple slash lines to compare, and you'll see basically the entire crowd that I draw from here comes up with a better slash line. So Luis Robert, when he was in the Cuban Professional League, he had a 314 batting average, 409 on base, 467 slug. That was from ages 15 through 18. So he was much younger, and he was much better. His last year in Cuba, age 18, he hit 401, 526, 687. So he was like a video game monster last year. Alexi Ramirez, another guy a lot of you will remember. Career Cuban stats: 332 batting average, 405 on base, 513 slugging. Okay, so you're looking at these slugging percentages are much, much higher for some of these other guys. Jose Abreu, Alexi was there ages 18 through 24. Jose Abreu, ages 18 through 25. Abreu was at one point considered the best hitter in the world. When he was in Cuba, his career batting average in Cuba, 341, on base 456, slug 622. Jeez. Just to bring the ceiling back down a little bit, because those guys, Alexi was an all-star. Jose Abreu just won MVP. I'll bring it down to a Cuban guy that we all know. We loved him. He didn't sort of make it here. Diane Viciedo, when he was in the Cuban League, the tank, 285 batting average, 370 on base, 450 slug. That's for ages 15 through 18. So even the tank ridiculous. Had much better stats, overall stats, similar batting average, but higher on base and slug than Lil Cespedes. So
I just love these dudes playing baseball at 15, like professional baseball. That just blows my mind. Yeah, so I mean, Beef, not to pile on top of what you said expectations wise, but like, so, and I don't want to start 2021 on a down note, but I kind of am going to here. So this is this is from a chat that Eric Longenhagen had on Fangraphs, and someone asked him where Yoelkis would would be drafted if he were in the regular draft, right? Like, so if he were in the draft that we just had with the minor league,
the
or
U.S.
with
amateurs,
the college and the high school kids,
yeah,
right? And so he said he'd be in the 35 plus tier. So like, that's second round, basically. He'd be a second round pick.
right. The end of the first round comp stuff and into the early second round.
Right. And unless his feel for hitting had changed substantially in that time. Right. And so and he's also said some things about him, like he's got an 80 grade arm, like the guy can just throw, like he can, which is great for right field, it's perfect, but that his hitting is erratic, right? And like, so I think we've seen a lot of this in the Sox system in the past, where it's like this guy is like this toolsy guy, but can he get the hit tool together,
right?
And we haven't seen that developed very well in our minor league system. And so that's like
Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson was a guy who they were able to come along. I mean, occasionally when you hit it, you're going to hit it pretty hard if you can get it to work, right? I mean, it's but a lot of it's tough to do. It's very tough.
For sure. But like you can think of 20 guys that didn't make it for the one that was Tim Anderson. Yeah. And so that's my concern. Now, that said, it's a new era for their hitting coaches. There's different people in place now to help these guys, and I'm interested to see what they can do with them. So there is some hope from my side, at least, that they'll be able to figure this out, because what it sounds like, if you're looking at this from, and there's not a lot of information, there's the information you can piece together, it looks like if he can figure out the hitting part, then it's going to be awesome. If he can't, he's might never make it to the major leagues. Like it's like that big of a problem. Like he might just strike out all the time in the minors, and you'd say like we can't put this guy out there. And so it's unfortunately it's really a lottery ticket here. It's like this. It's either going to be great or terrible in from what I can tell. And obviously I've only seen like grainy videos of him in like the WBC and shit like that. So like I can't say that like, oh, I've studied so much on this guy and I know all this, but I'm taking this from people that know what they're talking about and putting their grades together on the guy. And it sounds like the tools are there. He's got to figure it out at the plate. And can the Sox help him do that? I hope so.
Yeah, we have some people on YouTube checking in, and there's some actually some information that we can get out there from Nebraska. John, Siri National was much better when Alexi and Abreu were playing there too, closer to AA to AAA quality. It's lost so much talent to the MLB that it's more equivalent to an A+. Funny one, Brandon Stokes says, hearing about Viciedo will excite Kenwo. That's from Mr. Stokes. Happy New Year, buddy. Matthew Mitchell says Micker Adolfo also has an 80 grain arm and like a 40% K rate. So that's the same what we got going. It's the same,
very similar.
Now that's what the Treasy's talking about. Exactly.
Hopefully he doesn't get hurt as much as Micker, and we can maybe actually see him.
My Sox Summer, thanks for bringing those in. And that is a great point about the Cuban League, the decline in overall level of play due to all these players kind of coming to the U.S. now and playing in the major leagues. That's important to take into account when I do the batting lines against each other, and you try to say, okay, well, where does this person measure? And like Teresa said, it's worse. It just makes it more accurate for your brain to realize, okay, he's not of the level of those guys, or at least thought of in the level of those guys. Now, the development could take place, and we don't know. Teresa, I'm glad you brought up, though, the lottery ticket nature of this. So I wrote a blog about this. Everyone's got to do it.
I'm shocked.
And actually, Teresa and I have written blogs about this stuff in the past in a more general nature about bets in the international market. So over the course of the last however many years, Fangraphs has a great article where they quantify sort of player values, and they line it up with the bonuses, and they try to figure out how much $1 invested in the international markets ends up being in player value. What they came up with was that a single dollar turns into $6.50 effectively. Now, there's going to be, like was mentioned, some of these leagues have drained down a little bit and maybe aren't as good. Also, there's probably more efficiencies in those markets so that maybe it's not as loose as it was. Also, I wouldn't say every team is going to get 6x, 6.5x return on their investment. I would say certain teams have better infrastructure down there, better connections. They're just better at culling the talent. Respectively, they have their own academies down there that help them pull the stuff in. So you can't assume every single dollar invested by everybody is going to get you a return. Some teams it's going to be higher, and some teams it's going to be lower. Well, let's just say it's even half that. Let's say we're going to 3x on this. That's why you always do want to invest in these markets. That's why you always want to spend your entire cap. You don't want to sell some of your cap to the Rangers so they can pay off Nate Jones's $500,000 buyout, because the return on investment is high for this stuff. So in this example, like Teresa's saying, yeah, right now, if you were handicapping Lil Cespedes and it was a yes, no, do you think he's going to be a major leaguer? You probably might lean towards the no, but who gives a fuck? Because over the group of buying a lot of these guys, you're going to get excess talent from spending that money. And so think about it in that respect. Don't put a lot of expectations on this kid, but put expectations on the White Sox to keep spending it. Keep putting more and more of these lottery tickets into the pile. Someone's going to hit.
Yeah, and $2 million sounds like a lot, because I would love to have $2 million. But like, it's not in the grand scheme of things. The Sox waste $2 million on way worse shit every year. Right? I mean, like,
Omar.
They're probably still paying $2 million to like Jeff Keppinger or some shit. Like, I mean, like, there's
Mark Tehan.
I mean, they wasted like 18 million on Kelvin Herrera's bum leg.
That's
like,
true.
You know,
they wasted
they
like 8 on Adam Eaton.
Man.
Yeah, so that's why you continually make those investments right there, and you let Marco Patti work. And look, the White Sox have been focusing in on the Cubans. Now, I don't know. I mean, they don't seem to be getting a lot of kids from the Dominican Republic or kids from Venezuela, which is generally where most of the talent comes from in the international pools. And like you can see, if you put up a pie chart, there's a substantial amount of players from Dominican Republic in the majors. And the White Sox really haven't spent in there. And I don't know if Marco Patti's not connected there, or what, I don't know what the reason is. But they should keep taking these shots all over the place. There's no doubt about it. It's the best investment they can make.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like, I don't want to sound like I didn't like the pickup. I'm just, my expectations are tempered because there's a lot that says that this just isn't going to work. Right. But like, if it works, it's going to be awesome. Like there's definitely, there's some hope there. And like Beef, like you said, you string together 10 of these and one of them's going to hit. Like if you look at, a good example is another blog you wrote was with the Padres when they had, they couldn't spend, they were in the same penalty that we were at the same time.
Yeah.
And they bought up all these $300,000 max guys because that's all they could spend. Right. And they still had all of them. And you go look at that. And like one of those guys was just in a trade for, I think it was in the Darvish trade. Actually,
that's right.
And other guys that they got, or this is the same way that they picked them up. And so if you go in bulk to those, you take the big fish net, you're going to catch some good stuff. Like, and it's encouraging to see the Sox do this. I just don't want people to go like right field's fixed, because it's certainly not.
Yeah, Teresa, you bet Jets every week, and then eventually they play the LA Rams and you get plus 975 and it hits. That's how you invest in the international market. Okay. A lot of them will miss, but you're going to hit one once in a while. And that's why you keep putting the money to.
And it's going to be worth all of them. Yes. And that's what's great. So we did want to do something here. We wanted to.
Well, hold on. You don't want my thoughts?
You gave us some thoughts. You
I gave you thoughts from other people, but
I'll just do that. At me. Throw it at me.
I was just gonna. This is what I was gonna say. I listened to Red Line Radio today, and I got some thoughts from Dave. I listened to White Sox Talk, and they had some more thoughts about this. And I fell asleep during the White Sox Talk, and that is the first podcast I would recommend getting either myself or Teresa on to talk about stuff like this, because we bring some funny. It'll keep people like myself awake instead of falling asleep during the talk of blah 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 blah. That's what it sounded like to me. And then Cuban name. That's what I heard.
I can't believe no one asks us to be on their podcast after we go. Hey, I
Exactly.
fell asleep to your podcast.
Well, I'm just saying you need some help, and I can be the one that helps. So
Your podcast made me fall asleep. Please have me on. What a sales pitch.
no, Matthew Mitchell said that the guy that went over in the Jarvis trade was the #1 international prospect. The #1 international prospect.
Ooh.
One of them was.
One of them. Yeah, there were four prospects in that.
Yeah, there was like
yeah,
Jonas
but one
Santana
was
or
the
somebody.
#1 internet. Their #1 international, apparently.
They're #1. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm assuming.
Ismail. Is that Ismail Mania or whatever his name was? I think that's probably him.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Regardless,
I have no idea who the fuck that is. So
regardless, keep
you might as well
getting
keep
international
drinking.
prospects.
Get a bottle of sake and let's get nuts.
Let's do it. All right.
All right. What's the fun thing we're gonna do, Teresi?
We're gonna look at famous brothers and we're gonna make a comparison here. So we're gonna say who can we compare Yoelkis to as a famous brother, and probably younger brother is probably more accurate. So we'll go around the horn. Whoever wants to go first. Beef, I bet you're just chomping at the bit to do this.
I would. Since it was my idea, I'm happy to go first. So obviously, Yoelkis is the younger half brother. I think he's half brother of Yoelkis Cespedes. So when I was thinking through this, I was thinking, man, we've got to get a recognizable brother with a super famous, brother as the other half. So I envision Yoelkis Cespedes as Frank Stallone. I think inevitably he won't end up mattering much to the White Sox, but possibly he'll get to the show at some point in 2-3 years, bring some hilarious moments to our lives, and maybe he'll bring one hot moment like Frank Stallone's 1983 hit song, Far From Over. I wonder if Kobe's Burner has that on any of his Spotify playlists. The song's 3 minutes and 15 seconds long, and it feels like it's 4 fucking hours.
Yours is so close to mine, it's upsetting to me. And
if ours are the same, I'm gonna be really mad at you.
The people couldn't be further apart from the what we're using here, but like it's again in music. I mean, no,
it's loosely in music.
Sly is not in music.
Frank Stallone's loosely music.
Yeah, but so I went with Rob Zombie and his younger brother Spider. Now, Rob Zombie has not consistently been great. Like there's some flaws in there. Like there's some bad movies. There's some albums that are like whatever. But he was very, very good for a number of years. Like he has some real like high performance pieces in there. And Spider has one hit. So if you don't know Spider, he's the lead singer of Power Man 5000, and you probably remember the hit Worlds Collide. You remember that song. Everyone knows that song. It was a popular song. One hit. That is also my expectation for Yoelkis, is to have one hit in the major leagues. So I want him to exceed my one hit expectation. But that's currently who I'm going with. He's Spider 1. I think these guys have good last names, Zombie and One. But I'm gonna go with Spider. For mine, my sock summer. Who you got?
So I'm going to take another brother. He's actually from the entertainment industry, and this family has a lot of famous brothers in it. So I'm going to hope, and I'm going to call this the Baldwin scale. Okay. Alec obviously is like Jonas. Okay. He's like your top guy. Guy can smoke a cigar and take batting practice and just annihilate balls. Right. I mean, that's Alec Baldwin. Been on Saturday Night Live 17,000 times. That's your top of the market. Then you got the bottom of the market, who's like Daniel, because we don't really know who Daniel is. Okay, because he's a brother, but we're not actually sure what he does other than just be a Baldwin brother. Okay, so you got two guys in the middle. I'm hoping Yoelk. Okay, I'm just going to call him Yoelk because that's just going to be easier. I'm hoping he ends up more like Steven than he does like William. Okay, and now William was best known for Sliver, I want to say. I think that was his most famous movie that he was in with Sharon Stone. Always in back. I never saw Backdraft. Might have to take a watch of that one. But the career path that Stephen Baldwin had was pretty good. Biodome. He was really good in that. He was good in. Great. that movie Threesome. I don't know if you
I
guys
dare
watched
you
that.
to
I've
name a
seen
good.
it. Of course, we've seen it.
I dare you to name a good Stephen Baldwin movie.
You ready for it? You ready for it?
You're gonna go half baked.
He's gonna go half baked. Yeah.
Nope. Usual Suspects.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
He
yeah.
is- he is
There you
good
go.
in that
Spike
one.
the
You
ball,
got me.
MSS.
Yep.
Spike
You
the
got
ball
me.
right in his face.
You got me. You know
Boom.
what? You should be on White Sox talk
Sprinkle.
with shit like that.
Yeah, so I hope Yoke will turn out to be a Steven-ish. Yeah, because I don't think wouldn't you take his career over William or no?
I don't know. I think William Baldwin is the better actor if I'm watching them in movies. Like Stephen Baldwin's pretty terrible.
But he's in a shitload of movies.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, the Carrot Top is too, I think.
How dare you shame Carrot Top? Prop comics aren't people to you?
Yeah, what a
Tracy?
dickhead,
What the
man.
hell?
I mean, seriously.
Hey, I'm just kind of
too.
I'm just laying out the expectations that we're putting here. Like you're hoping for Stephen Baldwin, but
Wait,
that's not a good hope.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, he's been working for.
You're
a
like
long time.
high end. He could become Stephen Baldwin.
But you know what?
He
Though
was in,
actually that comparison is interesting. Like if the type of player you got was a guy who was like on the 25 man, kind of like a backup outfielder, like minor contributor for like 5 years. You made out on that $2 million easily. Like you easily made back that money. You know.
So here's why that's weird to me, right? Like with all the things that he can do right now.
Yeah.
Right. If he makes the roster and he's in the major leagues, like I would hope he figured out the things that would make him a star. Like I'm trying to figure out what kind of player he is. He's a role player.
Moises Sierra.
Oh,
remember? He could throw like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
and he couldn't hit, but he could hit enough just to get to the majors and then not be there that long.
Right,
He'd
but
be like better than that guy.
Okay,
but that's the same range, like big arm. You know, like a lot of swing and miss. Like
that is Stephen Baldwin. Right? That's Stephen Baldwin.
I think it's a great comparison.
You knocked it out of the park, my Sox summer, and now I'm really depressed. Like
I'm looking.
It got worse when you thought he was going to be nothing, but now that he might be Stephen Baldwin, you're more upset. I love it.
You're fucked.
I'm looking so much.
I'm looking at like Williams shit. Like he had some good stuff too. Like he was in Flatliners. He was in Born on the 4th of July, which Steven was also in, which is weird.
Huge Baldwin film.
Yeah. I mean but then it just kind of drops off where I think Steven kind of he got to play Barney Rubble. I mean, that's cool, right?
Ooh.
You know, in the live action Flintstones. That's pretty dope.
Is this like a later Flintstones? Like I feel like that wasn't the original guy.
It was the fuck.
All right, we can't talk more.
Whatever.
Flintstones.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Let's move on.
Yeah, it's not the regular Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yep.
Then let's hope it's not his career. All right. So Adam Engel signed with the Sox. I mean, like it wasn't like he was going to sign elsewhere, but they needed to figure out the deal.
Wow.
And it's my Sox summer. I'm just explaining that it was to avoid arbitration. It wasn't like he was a free agent.
Right. He was here. He's here.
Right. Beef, why don't you walk us through the deal and then get into this a little bit?
Sounds good. So he along with Evan Marshall this week, but we wanted to talk more poignantly about Engel. So Evan Marshall signed for $2 million, avoiding arbitration. Adam Engel signed for $1.375 million, avoiding arbitration. The way it works is the teams can work together, and if they come to an impasse and they can't do it, then they take the thing to arbitration, and arbiter figures out, okay, it's either that number or that number. Both teams bring. It's much better to not go to arbitration. Not only from the standpoint of, well, you get into, a bartering situation with your employer, but your employer is going to drag you in the mud to try to run the price down when you get to arbitration. So it's better to have all the flowery, good language and just sign the goddamn deal before then, if possible, if you can get the right amount of money. I believe the only two guys that haven't signed as of this point who are arbitration eligible are Reynaldo Lopez and Lucas Giolito. So those are the two that are left out there. So the reason why I wanted to talk about Adam Engel is Adam Engel gets so much goddamn love on Twitter for what he is. And so last year, Adam Engel had a very nice year. He hit 295, 333 on base, 477 slug. He had a home run in the playoffs. He caught the last out of the Lucas Giolito no-hitter. He had basically a banner year. So before we get into our little segment, I had a question for you guys about Adam Engel. Okay. Adam Engel was 28 years old last year. And Adam Engel's been tinkering with shit all the time, and it looks like some of it's coming through, and he smashed the shit out of left-handed pitching last year. And so coming into the 2021 season, he'll be a 29-year-old. Do you think last year we saw the peak of his prime? You think it's downhill from there? Because players' peaks are generally kind of in that area. It's 29 seems to be the other side.
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on the guy, though, right? I mean, like, some you see guys that peak closer to 30 and 31 as well, because just because of their career arc, right? And now he's getting more exposure to major league pitching and learning to hit against that. So I think it could very well be the peak, or it could just. My guess is that, like, it's kind of like a little bit up and down for the next few years, and then it's kind of over. I mean, I like Adam Engel, but like, it's not like he's going to have like a sustained career, because his skills will diminish, probably more rapidly than most players, because his skills are in the field and on the base pads, right? I mean, like, that's tough to sustain for a long time. So like, I could see like early 30s it starts to decline, but I think 29, 30, 31, I would expect him to kind of be around the same that he was last year. I wouldn't expect it to. I mean, now I don't expect him to hit quite like he did last year. Okay. But like, I expect like his overall skill set to maintain through the next few years. And I don't know if I could call it a peak with such a small sample size either. Like, it's tough to call that a peak. It's like, that was his best like 30 games. So yeah, sure.
Well, now, okay, so here's where I'm going to go. And you brought up a good point with the 30 games, 60 games, but it's a small sample size, but I also think that you're going to start seeing him used in more leverage positions versus an everyday right fielder, an everyday center fielder. So he's going to come in and have more, and he seems, and he did last year, he seems to have the ability to come in and make something happen and be good at what he's doing. So now he has and this is like something that I like, a defined role. You know exactly what you're supposed to do. You get in there and do it. It's not confusing, and the expectations aren't that high. So I mean, it's good. It's good for him, I think. And
as long as he's used that way.
Yes, that's true. And
I've seen a lot of people saying he's going to be a straight platoon with Adam Eaton. I don't believe that necessarily, but I've seen that out there, and I'm not sure if that's like the best usage for Adam.
But Beef, I mean, like, when you really think about it, though, right? Like, let's say it's not that. Let's say that's not the expectation. They've done nothing to put enough players in place that if when Adam Eaton gets hurt, that he's going to be your everyday right fielder.
Right. Yep.
Like, who else is it going to be?
Yep.
So I mean, like, that's part of like what I'm saying. Like, I guess it could be Lurie, but like,
yeah.
I'm not stoked about that either. So like, I mean, like, there's not a lot of keeping him from being on the field a lot, and that's kind of my main concern there.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. It was just said in the chat by Matty Mitch, same deal. Adam Engel's a great fourth outfielder, but more playing time than that, he'll be totally exposed.
I don't disagree, and I'm not surprised that both of you don't think he's going to be past his prime this season, especially because my Sox Summer bought Adam Engel's pants and gifted them to Teresi, who's probably wearing them right now, because I just assume you wear them like at least once a week.
You know what? I mean, they're getting a little tight on me. Adam's only like 6'2", so like on my beautiful 5'9" Yoelkis Cespedes like body, it's a little tight.
Your ass is the most muscular part about you, Teresa.
That's right.
I'm not going to deny it. All right, so Beef, we're going to go through a little exercise here, and we're gonna do a little simile. It's gonna be Adam Engel is to the White Sox as blank is to blank, and I'd like you to, or sorry, White Sox. I'm going to say White Sox fans. I think that's probably more what you meant. But Adam Engel is to White Sox fans as blank is to blank. And Beef, you want to go first?
I'm happy to go first, and I'll actually do it as White Sox because I think White Sox fans have a different. They love Adam Engel more than he kind of deserves to be loved, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I love that a guy ground his way from a 19th round pick to be a guy who's on that fucking roster and there every day. You know, God bless. We need more of that shit. But I think there's a little overloving there. So I'll say Adam Engel is to the White Sox as Honeydew Melon is to the fruit platter. Because you got goofballs like Treasy that's going to tout Honeydew Melon. But then as the party's coming to a close, there's like 1 or 2 slices of cantaloupe left on the fruit tray, and all the rest is honeydew melon. And that's because nobody ate it, because even though you thought it was like a great idea, in reality, the honeydew melon's kind of mediocre.
It's fucking garbage.
It's the money melon. It's the money melon.
It's so garbage.
So I did it a little bit differently than you did.
Okay.
I did it White Sox fans. So I did Adam Engel is to White Sox fans as OAR is to bros. And so it's kind of like it's a very mediocre thing that bros lose their mind for. So like if you like, so and to give you an idea who I'm talking about. So like if you pop your collar in the late 90s or early 2000s, you probably also saw OAR and then talked about it like you saw Led Zeppelin. Like that. Yes. And so I'm not trying to shit on OAR. Well, I am.
Yes, you are.
But yeah, exactly.
They're an opening act, right? That's their peak. They shouldn't be on the main stage, and that is the similar thing to Engel. Is like he should not be on the main stage. But like if put in the proper circumstance, very effective. And like I hope that they find a way to keep doing that, keep using him in the most effective way possible. And I think we'll all love him. But
yeah,
you can't just go like, you know what reminds me of, Beef? We were at a game, and this was probably mid 2000s, I think. And it was, and Brian Anderson had like, I don't know, like 4 home runs in like the certain amount of bats that he had. And one of our buddies was like, you know, this, if he were to play every day, think about it, he'd hit like 20, 30 home runs.
No,
that's not how this works. It's just not, that's not how it's going to go. No. So like, you know, and that's what I think of when I think of Engel. And hey, look, I like Adam Engel. I keep saying it, but I don't want to see him every day.
All right. I'll go next because I'm the last one. Adam Engel is to the White Sox as James McCann is to the Mets. So he's coming in.
Ooh,
he's coming in very well hyped. Everyone's like, he's going to be awesome. This is going to be our guy. This is it. And I don't know if that's going to work out so well. So that's just a little bit of fire, from me.
I like it. I like it. Took 2 guys out at the knees. So yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, he really kicked James McCann in the rocks there.
He did.
He's like, hey, take your money and get the fuck out of here, asshole. Like he gave that to James McCann.
That's how you get invited to all these other podcasts. You gotta get a little jabs in. Show them what you're about. I love it.
Yeah. K-Fids is on the chat, and he did invite me to do Pinwheels and Ivy. So we have that going for us.
Refuse it.
I don't
right
know.
I don't know.
To be fair, I don't know if he asked me or asked you, so it could still be you, Cherise. They might want to talk nerd shit, so maybe you'll get on before me.
Flat out refusal. No, I'm just kidding.
Cherise is like, how much does it pay? That's what I want to know.
How much did you get, Loaf?
I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, okay. It was 5 $1 gift certificates from McDonald's from 1983. So,
I wish.
That stocking stuffer.
You'd sell those on eBay, wouldn't you?
They're probably worth more than $1. You're right. That's not a bad idea.
Damn right.
So let's stop shitting on Adam Engel. We are rooting for him. We're rooting for him.
I like him a lot.
I just don't like when when people think that he should be the starting right fielder, because we already have a different
not
Adam.
Seeing that.
I like Adam Engel. I just don't like the fans that love Adam Engel too much.
You got to tag me in the next one because I haven't seen that. I've only seen the
shit.
Go look at your buddy White Sox Dave.
I was just gonna say our guy Dave. Go check his tweet out. There you go.
Oh, you know who he was shitting on? He wasn't shitting on Engel. He was shitting on Eaton. Okay. I was going to say the most recent
he loves Adam Engel.
He does love him. Well, you know, he's got a little bit of money in the game, some skin in the game. He got drunk one night and told him how to change his swing, and he did a lot better after that at Sox Fest in 2017 or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Engel credits him for all of his successes.
I saw that in an interview actually.
They're drunk at what was the Irish bar that was at the
Timothy O'Toole's?
No, the one that's in the bar.
And we're not guessing anymore.
Yeah, the at the Hyatt. There's an Irish bar there.
When you think about it, 15 minutes later, in the midst of us talking about something else, just throw it in there.
I'm gonna interrupt whatever's going on.
Yeah. All right. So
you guys,
I wanted to do a little quick thing with you guys. So 2020 will likely go down as one of the worst years of our lifetimes, but I don't want to focus on all the bad shit that happened. I want to focus on the few bright spots and give you guys some rapid fire questions, and you answer which you liked better. All right, you guys ready for this?
I'm ready,
baby.
So, we'll just say whatever comes to your mind and just shoot it out at me. So, better docuseries, Tiger King or The Last Dance?
Oh,
Last Dance.
Better White Sox moment, Giolito no-hitter, Abreu being named MVP?
MVP.
Abreu MVP for sure.
All right. You saved more money on food or booze?
Wow. Booze at the park. Yeah.
I will say food. Nights out, especially steakhouse dinners and shit.
Yeah,
I've saved all of that.
All right. Who was better in the Super Bowl halftime show, J-Lo or Shakira?
Oh, Shakira.
And can you believe that that was 2020? That feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Right. I do. Yeah.
Again, one that we'll see if you can believe it was. They're both 2020. Better legalization, marijuana or sports gambling?
I'm gonna go with pot.
I got to go with gambling. Absolutely gambling for me.
I'm not shocked by either of those answers.
Now, better for the 108 on a whole? Betting. Right now?
Gambling.
So far, gambling. Yeah.
So far, 100%. So good. Shout out PointsBet.
So far.
Promo code 108.
Yo, what's up, PointsBet? What's up, you Iowa fucks? Sign up for PointsBet with using the code 108.
Things
you don't even have to do your ad read now. You're done.
Things that happen on social media. Everything was cake or Kanye West running for president?
Cake.
Oh, I love Kanye running for president, especially after I heard him on Rogan and all his crazy ideas. I fucking love it.
So that you got a good point, but I'm still gonna go with cake because that shit was just amazing. Like I didn't even understand that. That was one of the last things I feel like Teresi brought up on the last in-person podcast we did. He was like, "Oh, so is this cake or this?" And I don't understand any of this. Like, I had no idea. And then I just saw like a video, and I was like, "Oh, that's what he's talking about."
It was a Sunday soak. It was a question, and you just riffed on how much you like cake for like 25 minutes.
A total fat guy answer. It was fattest fat guy answer ever. Actually,
it was pretty amazing because the actual question was, which one of us are actually cake?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Shout out marijuana.
Then Governor Cuomo's nipple rings or Chris Evans' dick? Do you remember either of these?
No.
These were pretty big. Like Chris.
I'll go with Governor Cuomo nipple rings.
I'll say nipple rings also. Just
normalize nipple rings.
I'm not so into dick.
All right. The longboard dude on TikTok or Michael Jordan memes?
Oh, longboard dude.
Longboard dude, 100%.
Yep.
Speaking of which, here's the better thing that never happened. TikTok getting shut down or murder hornets killing us all?
I don't know. I mean, murder hornets. I'm going to go
murder hornets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. These are 4 days apart, but the more important 40th birthday. Chirizi E or Macaulay Culkin?
I don't know. Both heavy drug users.
Allegedly, my sock summer.
I'm gonna go with Macaulay just because he's a lot skinnier and can't take the abuse.
I mean, for me, it's obviously obviously Treasy, because now we don't have to make up all kinds of things about how he looks old, because once you're above 40, everyone thinks you're old as fuck anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's a good point. I thought when you said the question was like what's more important, or not more important, it was like what are you more amazed by, right?
I said more important 40th birthday.
Oh, yours is more important. More important. I was under the impression that it was more amazing that he actually made it to 40 because of the drugs and the non-eating. Yeah. Treasy.
Good way to walk it back.
Good way to sleep. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you noticed that I was walking it back.
Still love you. All right, last question, and there's no choices here. You guys just tell me your favorite White Sox player to debut in 2020.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, I've got to go Luis Robert as well. Although White Sox Sal doesn't think I like Luis Robert that much, but I do love Luis Robert.
I thought you were gonna go Cody Hoare.
I love Cody. I love Cody, but I was like,
I feel like if there's a guy you've tweeted about more, it's Cody over Robert.
The reason is because as our 108 crew, when everyone goes to a player, we got to find our niche players, and Cody is a niche 108 player for sure.
I like it.
Comes in, he doesn't give a fuck. He throws gas, dominates. Doesn't look like he should No one was before the season was saying, "Oh, yeah, this guy will be closer type stuff guy." No one said
right.
I am shocked. I'm shocked that neither one of you said Nick Madrigal.
Nicky Sticks.
Hey, he would have had it, but base running errors. I can't live with that, man.
Got a public service announcement here, guys. Iowa friends, you can now use mobile registration to sign up at PointsBet. This is great news, so you don't have to drive to wherever the hell the casino is that's associated with PointsBet. So listen to your guy, Treasy. Head over to pointsbet.com, click that red sign up button, and use the code 108. They'll get you a deposit match of up to $250. That's right. Turn $250 into $500 without getting up off your couch. Once again, pointsbet.com, sign up, use promo code 108. Easier than getting drunk in the 108. Pointsbet.com, promo code 108. There you go, guys.
Yeah, beautiful. Nice job. Good read.
Now get hammered.
Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's time for the Bourbon County, right?
Are you staying up late to finish that?
Staying up late. It's 7:30.
Well, no, I was just wondering, how quickly are you gonna drink that? You're not gonna get it done by the end of the thing,
No, because we only got one bit left here.
Yeah.
And so what we're gonna do now is we're going to do some New Year's resolutions, but we don't do New Year's resolutions like everyone else does, right? I'm not talking about what I'm going to do, because that's easy for me to give some low bar to myself and say, do this stupid shit, and you're going to do it in the next week. Fuck that. That's stupid. What we're going to do instead is we're going to give each other New Year's resolutions for things that they need to do. And if we don't do them, what's going to happen? We're going to be publicly shamed by each other. That's what's going to happen.
You're damn right.
So I'm going to start.
I love it
because I've got some things for you guys. I think these are things that you will want to do, and I think you'll enjoy doing them. So Beef, a few years ago, you listened to this huge list of recommended albums from people that you had previously not listened to, right? Like these are great albums that people always go like, "Oh, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this." You put together a list and you listen to all of them within the year. I'd like to see you do the same thing with movies, because I know there's a lot of like classic movies that you've not seen.
That's true.
And so I'd like you to crowdsource that list, but then take us through that journey with you. Like when you watch one of these movies, write a quick, do a one-hitter on watching Clockwork Orange for the first time.
Right? I've actually seen a Clockwork Orange, so that would be one I've already. But you're right. There's a lot of them that I haven't.
Then Full Metal Jacket. I'm guessing you haven't seen Full Metal Jacket.
I've not.
And so
that's good.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
seen it.
There's a lot of great movies that I know.
I've not seen.
We've all missed some like really terrific movies. I've never seen Memento.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, so
I like that movie.
I'll watch that one this year. But
okay.
Beef, I want you to watch some of these movies, and it could be like 5 movies, right? Let's find out a list of 5 movies that Beef has not seen that he should have seen that are great movies, and you watch them, and then you report back on what you think. Because some of them you might be like, this movie was shit, and I want to know about it.
I don't know why everyone likes this bullshit movie, like Dazed and Confused. I can't stand.
There
I
you
think
go.
it's a terrible movie. A lot of people love it. So I think I like this, Trees. This is great content. I can either do it in a blog or we could bring it to the podcast and we could talk about it here and you guys can rip me to shreds on what I missed. You know?
I'd love it. Yeah. My Sock Summer.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Did you have a comment on that? Because I would
love
to
I was just gonna. You don't like you don't like Dazed and Confused?
Not really. I mean, I've seen it's okay. But a lot of people love it a lot, and I saw it. I was like, it's all right. I just didn't get into it.
Most of the people that love it are they from the city? They're not from the city, right? They're like from out in the sticks somewhere.
No,
right?
it's city
people.
Like,
people that like it too. Because I can understand why city people wouldn't get it. You know,
because My Sock Summer, the problem that I've always had with it is like it's one of those movies that I didn't see right away, and then people would tell me like, "Dude, you of all people would love this movie." So I was like, oh shit, man, I'm missing some really cool shit because people told me that about Spinal Tap. And then I saw Spinal Tap and I was like, where have you been all my life? You know? That's why I was like, oh shit, I got to watch this. And I watched it and I was like,
yeah.
What? I don't care. Like, it's just like, it wasn't like, it was bad. It was just like, I just couldn't care about it. I was like, all right. Yeah, there's some funny lines, but I hope that this Matthew McConaughey guy does some weird detective show in the future because this ain't where he's good. So,
that's right.
But My Sock Summer, I've got one for you, buddy.
Oh, okay, bring it.
So
I'm gonna write it down.
I think you've got a lot of beer knowledge up in that cranium of yours, right? And I would like to see that poured out into our collective gullets this year. I want to see you talking some beer to us, teaching us a little bit more about beer. Because I drink a lot of it, but I drink it in a very novice fashion, right? Like I don't know much about it. I mean, I think when we first started hanging out, you probably remember, I really didn't even touch IPAs. I was like, not really into it.
Yeah, you're not.
And then you showed me some good ones, and then I got into it, you know. And I think that a lot of people are probably in my boat of like, you know, I'm willing to try some beers, but like, I also, if I'm going to go try some shit, I want to know what I'm getting into because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on some shit and then be like, this is disgusting. This isn't the kind of thing I like. Yeah. And so I would love to see you give us some of that back. You know, you drink a lot of these good beers. I'd like to see you talk about it and tell us about, oh shit, I drank this thing. It was really delicious.
Yeah, that's a good one and it'll work. All right, hold on a second. We got
we got a visitor.
Visitors. We got 2 little visitors.
What's happening here?
You say hi.
Hello.
She can't hear us, but we are. I assure you,
they're saying hi to you.
We waved. We did all this stuff, right? If you do all that, you can see.
Is it time for you to go to bed?
She's like, no, thanks. I don't want to see them guys.
You want to hear them?
She's like, I need those headphones.
She said, turn up the vocal. I can't hear the vocal over the bass right now.
The bass is taken away.
The bass is taken away.
You can hear them on the thing now.
They're there.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
give them an inch. They take a mile. You know how it goes.
Yeah, she wants to be on the show. I don't blame her. A lot of people watching this right now. At least
you know what's funny? You know what's funny, Beef? My Sock Summer's out there begging to be on other podcasts. Won't even let his kids be on ours. I mean,
I know. That's brutal. I don't like that. Hi. Oh, her voice came through real nice and clear on that headset. I like that.
Hi.
What's up, May?
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
We're all waiting.
All right, love you. Love you, May. All right. No, I you know what? I have slacked this year. And you know what part of the problem is, and I'm not going to make excuses, but I don't drink a lot of different beers as much anymore. Like I do every so often, but I do drink anytime I get a new Goose Island in. like that Guava Squad. Oh, dude, that's delicious. Like that's a great beer. And if you like guava IPAs, this is the perfect beer for you. You know, that's what Jason Hoskins always looking for. Is my good reviews like that.
I mean, what you're giving me right now, baby, that's what I need. That's the kind of cowbell I need to cure this fever.
I'm down, dude. I'm definitely gonna go all out. This is mostly for Shybert because he said it's gonna be the year of me, year of MSS. I don't know if that's
2021. Yeah, right? what was that? Why is it? I love it. Beefloaf. What the hell did I do?
Yeah,
I love it. I love every.
You're kind of an asshole. You know.
Oh, is I'm arrogant? Is that what it is? I'm an arrogant guy? You gotta say fuck Beefloaf 2021?
You know,
if it wheezes like
much
a loaf,
like the Lakers girls, you need to get knocked down a peg or two. All right, that's what it
is. Who wants to go next? I got mine ready, so
do it. Fire, baby. I'll go last. Fire.
All right, so let's. I'm just gonna go right back at Chirizi. Was one thing that Chirizi, the first thing I was gonna do for him was like, oh, I don't want to take away potentially one that loaf might do. I don't think I would, but I want Chirizi to commit to the bit. Like when we're out on a Wednesday night and say maybe we've got a mask on, you know, like maybe a squirrel mask, or you know, I have two gigantic peacock heads. You know, I want my man Chirizi to put that peacock head on. Like I know my man Loaf will do it, but I don't necessarily think that Chirizi will do it. So I need to get him to like embrace it, the craziness of the 108. And we could have a whole different dancing, you know, Chirizi gif if you know just what my put on the peacock head.
Let me lay it out for you right now. Do it. For too long, I've been too cool for school on this, and that's on me.
Yep.
Fixed in 2021. Promise.
Yes. Right. Wow, that's big. That is huge. Hey. Nice one, my socks.
And that's before I even started drinking this.
Right. You're not even drunk yet.
This is gonna.
What that means, my sock summer, is that he lied right there. See, if he had drinking already, he would have told the truth. You know.
That's how Beef knows me. That's like these moments where like people are like, Treasy's really pulling it from the heart there, and Beef's like, that's fucking bullshit. I can smell it.
Be like,
I've heard that line before.
Man, fuck you, my sock summer. No way. You guys can look like lunatics. I'm gonna sit here in my black shirt and black jean shorts and just sweat my balls off. Dog. No big deal. Next up, Loaf. You always tease us about these things you're gonna do, things you're going to, accomplish. We were going to have a home run dance because it's 2020, we couldn't go out. So next best thing, because we don't know when we're going to be back into the park. Okay. Yep. I need you to be the voice, the face, the dancing moves of the 108 on TikTok, bro. I need you on that TikTok.
Dude, you know how bad I want to be on that TikTok.
MSS.
But my daughter has banned me from going on there, man. It's when you have a child that's that age, there's like a fine line about embarrassing your kids, and that one might be crossing the line across where I don't want to go. I'm down with it. If I had if you could abstract me, I'm away, no one would know who it's me. I'd do it, but she'd be
MSS.
Mask.
I had a first draft of Beef's resolution, and it was similar.
Okay.
But I have this. I think I might have this figured out. So I think we can work on this together. What I thought was, I want him to do a TikTok, right? I wanted him to do his first TikTok in 2021. But like he said, Bonita Stakey is very much against this, and I'm not gonna mess with my niece. But I also know that at her age, like 1 to 2 years and shit is over, right? So TikTok won't be cool by 2022. So that's when Beef can get on there. But in the meantime, we should have him practice on Instagram.
Do
some 1 minute videos on Instagram.
I'm down for this.
Hone his TikTok craft before we need to launch him into TikTok.
Does Bonita Stakey know that Instagram even exists anymore, or no?
She does, but she's not on there. So she's aware of it. So we'll like show her pictures of people or whatever. But no, she has a TikTok and loves TikTok's awesome. I like looking at TikTok as well. But
Yeah.
no, she's not in general in social media. She just looks at, and she doesn't do any TikTok. She just looks at stuff.
Okay, that's what I was like. She has a TikTok. And I'm
She
like,
just looks at shit. No,
She
Okay,
just
that's
talks
fine.
shit about my sock summer a minute at a time.
my fat fake uncle.
Like,
That's what she
a
calls me.
picture, like she'll point to the things and the buttons show up. You know, like pop up video from VH1 back in the day. You know, you're like big, fat, and stupid. Now has Chicago accents, but from
Harry
Sterling.
Oh man, that's a good one. I'm gonna follow through on it. So
I
I've got
appreciate
to dole some out to you guys. So I'm going to
Bring
start with my man Treasy E. Now, some
Your
of the
brother.
people who are listening to this, podcast listeners, YouTube live watchers, whatever, some of you already know this and some of you don't. But Treasy, in and above all the other things he does, is also a musician. So above and beyond his career and all the 108 shit, he also has done music for over 20 years. And we just had our annual 108 meeting where we get bombed and scream at each other and figure out what cool shit we're going to try in the new year.
We
So with
scream
this
at
big
each other.
With this big, okay, mostly Treasy and I screaming. But
Well, he was talking to me, so I figured that was the week.
So with this big preamble, my New Year's resolution for you, Treasy, is I need you to write and perform the theme song
Oh yeah.
for this era's White Sox domination. I don't care who you have to assemble to get this done. Remember all the terrible, stupid songs that came out when the Bulls were good? Remember all that? And people loved all that shit? I need your ass first in the market, all right? If Luis Robert becomes Mike Trout and the White Sox are a powerhouse for 5 or 6 years, I need your song out there as the one that everyone's listening to at the tailgate. So however you got to do it, I want you to write and create that song.
Okay.
And I'm down with this too. I love it.
I'm immediately enlisting Covey's burner for help on this.
Yes.
We're gonna write this together. I'll DM him after this. He ain't gonna listen to this, but I'll DM him after this and ask him for some assistance. But we can do this. We can make it happen. The only thing that's gonna be tough is getting people together to actually record it. That'll be the toughest part.
Yeah, and truth be told, I mean, I think we got a little time, a little runway. I don't think anyone's going to kind of beat us to it right now. The White Sox are still like a cool indie band, and people have heard of them, but they're not big shit like those Bulls were. So we got a little bit of time to get there.
We'll get on that.
We'll be the next do the Ricky Renneria. The 108 will be the next do the Ricky Renneria.
You're damn right, man.
You know, they were after it, but they
they
hooked onto the wrong person.
Yeah,
they
That's
did.
the problem.
They were too early. You know, they were too early to it.
I will assure you that Tony La Russa will not be mentioned in the song that I write.
I bet it's new metal too. I want a new metal version.
I don't think it's going to be new metal.
I don't
want to pigeonhole it.
Yeah, let's not stipulate what it has to be. Let them the creative juices start flowing, and then we see what we get. You know, and then you and I we'll be the first one listening to it. So.
All right.
You'll be the first one to get shot with those juices.
I look forward to it.
I feel like we should raffle that off for 108.
All right, so my Sox summer. I want you to spend some of 2021 showing the world the washed dad that you are. And I want you to do this in Vine style Twitter video action. Just your normal day-to-day shit, normal day-to-day dadding, all that crap. However, much like The Simpsons, I want you to change the vantage point. Not so much of your beautiful young daughters who everyone likes to see on camera. I want your ass and your goofy fucking things to be on the camera. All right. Here's what I want. All right. I want a little peek into MSS, listening to Howard Stern, cursing out Paw Patrol, and generally getting moderately frustrated at the daily rigors of life. But Vine style, short, you know, nothing over 30 seconds-ish of a video. Because I think, you know, you're the only one who's gone viral with a video, and I think you need to get back there. I think you feel like you want to get back to viral video, and I think this is the path to do it.
Just dad videos.
Dad videos.
So now, it has to be a video, and it can just be a clip. Like, I don't have to do Vine, right? Like, I don't even think Vine exists anymore.
Vine does not exist. He said Vine style.
Vine style.
Just the style.
So what he meant is TikTok.
I just pop in. Yeah. So you want me to TikTok? I don't want to.
No. Because TikTok has a lot of special effects and music and all kinds of shit. No. Just
I'm
raw
boring.
MSS. Just
We need
raw
to be
MSS
straight
is
boring.
what people want. It's not
Yeah.
boring. It's you. No frills, but you and
Right.
your daily whatever you do.
Like, oh,
Raw
I had
dog.
2
Yeah, raw dog.
hours. I had 2 hours because my daughter took a nap, so I fell asleep watching some documentary on Tekashi 6969. Yeah, something like that.
No story. Just video.
Oh, okay.
Just video of you. All right.
Just video of me just falling asleep.
Just
Listening to a podcast that you want to be on.
So the point is to be 100% washed and boring.
Just be you. Just be whoever
Okay.
you are.
I don't think you could be boring.
That's why. That's why he would be great. That's why he'd be
No.
awesome. That's why anything he would put on there, just any goofy shit he sees during the
Yeah.
day, would be outstanding, and people would fucking love it.
Like
But
make
think
a
about it
peanut
this
butter
way.
jelly sandwich and cut one of your fingers off or something. You know, it's something normal.
Just think
Man.
about how nuts it was when we decided, okay, we're going to do the 108 tourney post games, and my Sox Summer took the first one, and that shit hockey sticked like a motherfucker, and everyone watched it. Right? Okay, everyone watched him read a fucking children's story. You got it with the video. Just do more of it. Anything that you're fucking
Right.
doing, you know?
I get you. All right.
That's it.
All right.
That's it. A real simple assignment.
Well, shit, guys. That seems like all of our resolutions. I'm sure we'll all take care of those lickety split. In the meantime, thanks everyone for watching and or listening. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube so that you could see these things live. Click that bell, that little bell that's there. That will notify you that we're going live, so that My Sox Summer doesn't have to message it out to you guys.
I think the
You'll
kids
just be
say.
notified.
I think the kids say pound the like button and smash the subscribe. Yeah, that's what they
I
say.
think that's right. I think that's
So
right.
let's do that, kids.
Look, I'm not
do
telling
it.
anyone to pound anything. All right,
Oh man,
that's
Not your
not
brand,
though.
huh?
that's not what the drunk uncles tell you to do. But please subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform that you listen to.
Yes.
And we will see you guys all very soon. And since I'm also an old man, I'm going to try and figure out how to turn off all these different things that we started when we started this podcast. Thanks,
I think you
everyone.